Let's make a video. That's right, it's always dark in here because they're dimming the sun. I mean, how much more clear can it get? They're dimming the sun out there. It's cloudy. Get your vitamin D. Get your happiness up. Don't be depressed. Let's recap, shall we? Let's go back. As Lindsey Graham and, as everyone else, Mark Levin and all these people want to go back to the Reagan era. Rush Limbaugh, too, he even said that. Why don't we go back? Why don't we go back to the Reagan era? Yeah, let us go back. Let's go back to the Trump rally, actually. Let us go back. Who remembers that part where Donald Trump specifically said that we're working behind the scenes and you're going to like what's coming down? No, we're not. No, we're not going to like what's coming down, because if you could see what's coming down right now, this whole calling the Democrats, Tucker Carlson putting out the, well, I just saw it. I don't know how long it's been out, but he said that they're trying to legalize all 22 million or whatever. They act like they're deporting anyone or Donald Trump's going to build a wall or do anything. Get the hell out of here. You heard what he said during the thing. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Guess what? Who's behind the scenes right now? That's right. Donald Trump is just the puppet. He's the face. Guess what? The real president, like the whole Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama thing that everyone wants to say, just like the Bill Clinton thing, guess what? Jared Kushner is the real president. He's the one behind the scenes. That's why we always see Donald Trump and stuff like that. We never hear about Kushner, all the deals that they're doing behind the scenes with Ivanka. I mean, you heard him clearly from his mouth say that they're working on stuff, and it's getting ready to come down. So what exactly are they working on? They're working on more immigration. They're working on less deportations. They're definitely not working on to build the wall. They're definitely not working on to increase American standard of living. So it's just so, delicious when you hear Donald Trump say things like, we're working behind... Who's working behind the scenes? You realize that we didn't vote for any of this? You realize nobody voted for an agenda just come down from behind the scenes? You realize we voted for a very strict agenda, a very strict policy? 3 major things that we wanted to happen. We didn't give a shit about anything else. Guess what? We wanted 3 things to happen. 3 things. 3 things to happen. Guess what? None of those things are being done, and the complete exact opposite is happening. Believe it or not, it's all happening. Guess what? That whole, go call your Democrats. Go get that bipartisan BS through. Go get, where's that Joe Biden? Nothing will change if I'm elected. Who has been saying that this whole time? Literally called into the wise wolf and said that same exact thing. And let alone hear it come from Joe Biden's mouth. If I'm elected, nothing will change. There's George Carlin for you. Why do you think I put George Carlin in front of that clip? If you're happy with what you got, because it's not going to get any better. Because the real owners... I'm talking about the real owners here. They don't want to have a wall. They don't want immigration to stop. They don't want the American standard of living to increase. They want to destroy our society. Let us go back. Let us go back. What's the finish line? 31 years. Agenda 2050. This isn't fake. This is all designed. This is all real. Why else are they pushing? Okay. So let's think about this. Who's going to replace us? Who's going to replace us? If they're turning everyone into a drag kid under us, into a soy boy tranny under us, when they eventually grow up, who's going to be in charge? Who's going to defend anything? Who's going to worry about it? This is what I'm talking about. You people don't get it. Literally engineering the end. Literally asleep, devoid, the whole situation. Oh, wait, that's right. People don't believe the information that they're reading. That's right. They don't believe in any of this. They don't believe that, what is it, Israel? Okay, first of all, Israel's not going to attack or do anything, okay? So, Israel barely even has an army. Let's think about this right now. Who would they rather pay? Just like the United States right now. This is why I laugh. When I hear the whole military leaders by 2050 and everyone wants to brush aside that, China and the Jews and Russia are working together now. Everyone just wants to brush that aside. Guess what? No matter how much you want to believe... If you've never dealt with Chinese people before, if you've never actually experienced them and you're just reading all the BS that you're seeing on there, yeah, I bet you will get the illusion that they're being controlled. But if you actually, experience the culture, if you actually experience the people, bro, I already can see what's going on over here. And it's not good for Israel either, believe it or not. Guess what? They will lie to their face until it turns just like how the Jews do. They're both underhanded and can't be trusted. If you think one is working for the other, you're insane. This is, you want to talk about 4D chess? Everyone, President Trump's 4D chess, 4D. This is all the Chinese do. All the Chinese do is 4D chess. All the Chinese do is project models. All the Chinese do is build strategy. All the Chinese do is see how they can advance, get an upper hand. They don't care if they would sacrifice every Chinese person. If they took that hill at the cost of that is a W in their eyes. As long as we didn't have it and they have it, that is a W in their eyes. That's what people don't understand. So when I see all this, and then when you see the world outside around us, because everyone wants to project all this nonsense, the Second Amendment, we don't have a Second Amendment, just like we don't have a First Amendment, just like Florida, Zionist home base over there, completely overriding the First Amendment. Hello, no one cares anymore, just like the Second Amendment. Where China doesn't have a Second Amendment. Guess what? They're just giving their military super advanced death weapons that you can possibly imagine. Guess what? We actually have a Second Amendment here that's supposed to prevent people like the military-industrial complex from existing. It's supposed to prevent people like the government from ever maintaining those kind of weapons without it being access to a store that any American could go into. And want to buy a Reaper drone? You want to buy a Predator? Guess what? It's your Second Amendment right to actually own one of those. Believe it or not. You want to own a nuclear weapon? Guess what? You want to own a Moab? Guess what? It is within your constitutional God-given right within this nation that these usurpers, these invaders, Donald Trump is part of this problem. He could get out there and project all this deportation. That's not happening. Guess what? They're still overflowing. The voter rolls are still growing. They don't give a shit about anything. Like I said, unless you see spontaneous crack news, breaking news show up where everyone is all thrown from a loop, it's not real. It's not real. Guess what? You would be seeing crack breaking news all the time if I was in President Trump's position. You think that I would be letting any of this stand over here? Give me a break. This is why I laugh at all this dumb stuff over here. Why we gotta sit here day in and day out and have our dollars enslaved by these fake, false rulers who claim to own us. This existence, Just think about this. You have to pay, at least, $300 a month, depending on where you live, just to exist. Just to exist. What did Donald Trump say? We need everyone to know the pride of having a job and being a wage slave over here. What a complete ignoramus boomer mentality. No one wants to be a wage slave. Guess what? People want to be independent. People want to make their own money. People want to have the ability to increase their own standard of living. Like if YouTube wasn't controlling who the hell made money or not, those are problems that we're talking about. They're just designating that only certain individuals, winners and choosers, everyone else has to be a wage slave, except for all the sellouts who are on television and who could help control and gatekeep the rest of reality, because that's literally what's happening right now. See, it's like George Carlin said, they just want people who are smart enough, who will do the longer hours, less benefits, your Social Security. Guess what? They're talking about that whole George Carlin clip is literally like he knew the plan. He was in the meeting, he heard the meeting, and he just did that skit to just blow the meeting wide open, because everything he's saying right now, we're approaching the very end of exactly what he's saying. We're reaching this apex here. But this apex isn't a good place to be. This whole Donald Trump lie, this whole Jared Kushner, Jael Kushner, Ivanka Kushner, notice how no one wants to bring up how no one calls her Ivanka Kushner, even though they're supposedly married. It's all Trump, Trump, Trump. Remember, Trump Dynasty. You got to keep the illusion of Trump in your face, while Kushner and all the other globalist elites run circles around our freaking fake reality over here. I couldn't really think of the proper way to put it, but, we'll just downgrade that for a little bit. But anyway, I digress on that. As you can see in President Trump's speech, there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes that you didn't vote for. But what you did vote for, they're not going to do. That's why I laugh. Why are people voting for Trump again? Notice how you don't see anyone bringing up that rally anywhere. Notice how you don't see anyone talking about that, except for the same shills everywhere who normally talk about that garbage as if it's, the second coming. Notice how you got Sean Hannity and the rest of these people over here shilling for war. We've been there. We've been talking about that. Guess what? Oh, you know what? I'm glad Wise Wolf brought up that whole Mike Pence thing when he said that, you're going to die for America someday. How ludicrous is that? That's just telling you all the fake wars and everything. What more wars do they got planned? You know what's funny is I'm seeing all these Vietnam references coming over here with Iran. That's not a good thing. Why do people think that's a good thing? Seeing all these, like, Iran references being conjoined with Vietnam over here, or all the other government false flags that they were naming. Hello, if there was a draft, would people be ready for it? They're not ready for a draft. They're not ready for a real war with Iran. They're not ready for a real war with Russia. They're not even ready for a real war with China. Guess what? Unless we can actually, modernize, if we can actually pull back our troops, actually kick people out of the military, we don't need all these people in the military right now, believe it or not. We don't need any of these effing generals, believe it or not. You know what we need? We need real standards. We need real strategy. You know what we need? We need real leaders. We need real military-minded individuals, not political sellouts. That's the sun over there and my television, because I'm trying to keep the light good. But, whatever. But yes, so anyway, the generals, the agenda, everything, it's all pathetic. All their strategies and everything. Just think about how stupid that nuclear strategy paper is. I mean, just think about what genius wrote that one up. That, yeah, we can win a nuclear war. We can win this. We'll just do a high precision strike. We'll just... we'll make sure that we have all the defensive measures. Who cares if one or two get by? That's accounted for, that one or two will get by. But we could win. We could rule the rubble. Even though I don't really believe in the whole nuclear radiation BS garbage or anything anyway. You know how much lies we're being lied to? We've been lying to about so much stuff. You've been lied to about Chernobyl. HBO's lying to you about Chernobyl. Guess what? Lying to you straight up. I always say this as like a mental gauge, okay? So, let's try this real quick. The moment you hear Chernobyl, you've already been incepted, because immediately when people hear the words Chernobyl, you know what immediately comes to their mind? Nuclear explosion, fallout reactor, cataclysmic event. They've never seen it, they've never witnessed it, but, out of all the, BS programming that they have, the moment you say Chernobyl, they just envision a nuclear explosion on a reactor going off in their mind. Isn't that crazy how that works? Guess what? It never happened. Just like this whole Fukushima thing. I was there on the beaches. I had a friend and acquaintance I'm still in communication with today, who also did all the tests, read all the tests for a whole month, and you know what he found? Nothing. So what is really going on out there? What is the truth? Everyone wants to project Fukushima and everything, but I was actually there. I actually saw the tests. I actually saw that there was nothing there. So when people bring up Fukushima, it's like this whole mental circuit, just like how they said, where were people being deployed? Syria, I think it was. People were being deployed to Syria, but it was apparently top secret, and that it was only recent news released within, a few months ago or something, that it came out. People were shocked that we're sending troops to Syria. That's like an open military secret where everyone knows we're deploying to Syria, but in the civilian world, no one knows that. But everyone here just thinks it's common knowledge. Everyone knows we're going to Syria. You see how, these scams that they play on the different groups? You see, just like the whole Equality Act, you better believe once they sign that, the trannies in the military, the CDC, the gay agenda, everything, that will be it. There will be all the benefits. You can watch the taxes go way up, more government programs, more BS that Donald Trump is signing. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Remember, they said the same thing. The people in charge, nothing will change if I'm elected. What does Joe Biden mean by that? What does he mean by nothing will change if I'm elected? Does that mean we're already about to be handed down an agenda regardless of what Donald Trump is talking about or what he wishes to project? Because I'm still trying to figure this one out. Chuck, Nancy, Jared Kushner, Ivanka, the rest of the House, the rest of the Congress, the rest of these, what was it? It was 52 people in the deck of McConnell in the Senate, and then you have another 60 individuals in the House that are under McConnell stuff, not even including all the people that Nancy Pelosi owned and Chuck Schumer. So you see this scam right here in itself? Nothing will happen. Nothing will get done. Unless the president really manifests, becoming commander-in-chief and calling in military forces and removing Secret Service. You don't need Secret Service. Secret Service is the enemy. Guess what? You get rid of Secret Service, you bring in the troops because you have, control over the troops. You can hold troops accountable. With the UCMJ, that would make them less resistant to do anything. See, all these other people, they're not really held as accountable or to a higher standard as those who give their life away on a dotted paper. So you just remember that. When I take power, I would get rid of the Secret Service immediately.